Hey guys, welcome to Cheerful Conversations, episode 2. So I decided I wanted to start this episode with this segment called Ask Apryl Anything. So last October, I sent out a survey to my email list and said, if you had to ask me one question, or if you had one question that you could ask me, what would that question be? And I got about 55 responses. It's, not too many answers, but I've got a ton of questions now, so I figure that I could answer some of them on the show. So here's the first question that I'm going to read, and I'll respond to in a second. So the question was, why are you sending out a survey that does not allow no response? Disregard most of the tabs. This thing wouldn't accept an answer unless something was hit regarding how often do you want to get newsletters? No is not an option. All right. Okay, so Miriam, how do I respond to this this random question?
What I was thinking, what?
To be honest, when I saw the question, I immediately was like, oh my God, somebody hates me. And I actually went back to their full survey to see what they filled out. They barely filled out anything. And there was one of the questions on the survey was, what is your favorite thing about the Cheerful Mind newsletters? And the answer was, nothing. Don't read them. Don't want them. And I was like, all right.
And so you're filling out the survey because
yeah, and it was like, okay, this person is angry. They're having a bad day.
Yeah,
my initial reaction was like, okay, hey Charlie. By the way, Charlie is here and saying hi. I was like, okay, so I sent out this email and I asked you for a favor to fill out my survey, and you said. I asked for a favor, and I had to double check because I was almost like, did I say you have to fill out my survey? Right. They were like, I didn't. I was like, can you do me a huge favor and fill out this survey? You really couldn't say, you really didn't have to. But this person, I think I just assumed that it was a guy. I don't know why. They proceeded to click the link to the survey and get through 5 or 6 questions where they had to respond, and then left me this thing when they could have actually just clicked unsubscribe at the end of the email.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So
or just skipped it altogether, right?
Yeah. There's we all get so many emails, and if you don't want to fill out a survey, you don't have to. And I was asking nicely for your feedback, and if you don't want to be a part of it, then just don't. They probably spent about 5 to 10 minutes filling out all these answers. Yeah. When they could have just unsubscribed and never seen me again. And I should probably go back and see. Oh, they didn't actually leave an email address, so I have no idea. And it could be somebody that's totally just messing with me on purpose. Who knows? But I initially was like, ah! And then afterwards.
Yeah, totally. It's funny how it makes you kind of look at yourself first. You're just like, oh my God, what have I done wrong?
Yeah, I'm a horrible, horrible person. Totally. So, anyways. That's my Ask Apryl Anything segment, and my answer to you is, why am I sending out a survey? Because I want feedback, and if you don't want to give feedback, then unsubscribe. But if you want to ask a question that could be potentially on a future live taping of Cheerful Conversations, I do have a website form that I put together, so you can go to www.thecheerfulmind.com/AAA for Ask Apryl Anything and leave me a question. And I've got a whole backlog of other ones, but if you leave me a question now, then I might get to put that up to the queue if you're watching. So I have Charlie says, love the intro, keep up the good work. Magesh says, hey, and so hey back. This is so fun to do this live. I don't know, Miriam, if you saw my video last week, but
I did.
It was definitely not live, and I'm so glad that Facebook gave me back my privileges because they know that we need to spread positivity. And
yeah, no, live is the way to go. Like, you can be yourself. You can talk to people in the audience. I love it.
yeah, it's totally unscripted, totally
Yeah.
like not. And I should, probably introduce you now, right? Because I've just let how long go without doing that. So everyone, this is Miriam Buttu. She is my very, very first guest co-host on the show. So say hello. And
Hey, everyone.
and I wanted to, so we decided to come up with the theme for episode 2, or the title of episode 2, which is Flying by the Seat of Our Pants, because after I did my show last week, I was a little bit frazzled and not really sure if I was going to get my Facebook Live privileges back. So I, at first was like, oh my God, am I going to do a show by myself? And I don't know who I'm going to have on as a guest host. And I think maybe 2 days after the show aired, I was like, all right, I should just ask people to see who wants to be on my show. And lo and behold, I already have guest co-hosts for the entire year already booked. Like, I don't know how fast that happened, but Miriam was the person who gracefully volunteered herself to throw herself into the fire and be like, let's do this first thing together. And so we are definitely flying by the seat of our pants. We didn't have a full 2 weeks to plan this. And we were also having a conversation before the show talking about how we are both super planners. Right? So Miriam, you're a super planner. I'm a super planner. And so you should have seen us the hour before getting ready for this. We're like, we have to do all this stuff. We were going crazy and trying to take deep breaths, but now we're trying to chill out, and calm down a little bit. And what's even more amazing, Miriam, and we'll talk a little bit more about who she is and what she does in a second, but she sent me a Voxer message this morning and was like, so I'm kind of coughing. My kids, I don't know, I think I might have caught something, so I don't know if that's gonna be okay. And I was like, no, it's totally fine. The fact that you still want to do this is amazing. So I have volunteered that if she was kind of conscious about the coughing, and so she's like, I don't know if I'm gonna cough. So I said, well, okay, so if you cough, and we'll have to together try to keep track of this, but for every coughing fit that she gets into, I'm going to donate $5 to a charity. And if you are watching this live or on a replay, because I know that this is a longer show and you might pop in and pop out, but if you see this, at the end of the show, we'll talk about how many times she coughs, hopefully, a couple times, and I'll be happy to, donate to some charity, but I want somebody who is watching to, let me know the charity, and I will donate to that for every $5.
It'll be cool to know what people are interested in, what kind of charities.
For sure. And if nobody responds, then Miriam, I'll just have you pick the charity. But we'll see. Let's let everybody else chime in first, because we want to try to get some engagement. So, all right. So now let's talk about this. So, let's start with just what you do, Miriam. Tell everybody what's your jam in life. Yeah.
So I have such a hard time answering this question because I feel like I'm always doing 50 million things.
That's why we're friends, right?
And I think you and I relate on front. So I basically I'm an entrepreneur. I have 2 companies that I started up. One is functioning properly. The other one is a little dysfunctional.
I love it. I love the transparency too.
It's true, right? And then there's then I have I work in international development and I manage an international internship program. So I hire kind of young people to go overseas to different countries and do different kinds of jobs.
Awesome.
I also have 2 babies, 1 and 3, and that's why I'm sick all the time, pretty much.
Yeah.
And somehow, I don't know if you relate to this, Apryl, but somehow, as busy and crazy as that sounds, the second I have any free time, I'm like, what else can I do? Maybe I should start another business.
I know, because it's never enough. It's never enough.
Nuts. Yeah, that's why I think this whole flying by the seat of our pants thing is so on point for us, because I'm literally like this 24/7 with everything I do.
Yes, what do I do next?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just laughing because this morning I had a massage and I was talking to my massage therapist the entire time. I don't do like
Yeah.
chill massages. We might need to talk that a little bit later, but yeah, it was like, okay, I've got the show, I'm taking improv classes, I'm doing kickboxing, I've got kids, I've got a husband, I've got like all of this craziness, and wait, I'm still kind of trying to take it slow. For anybody who's following me, like, knows that I'm trying to slow down, which I don't know if I know what that means, but
well, exactly. At least you got yourself to a massage though, so like baby steps.
I got myself to a massage. No. My massage therapist came to my house.
Oh yeah, right. Awesome.
But yeah, let's talk about that a little bit later. So, okay, so you've got all of this stuff. Now, what is one thing that you like just totally geek out on that's non-work related or just a personal characteristic of you?
Yeah, so I think that my biggest thing I geek out on is like anything related to inspiration. So I can literally watch TED Talks for like 2 hours straight over and over and over again because and I also repeat TED Talks. This is the thing. So I have ones that I just love that like kind of lift me up every time. Mm-hmm. And I'll just go back to those ones over and over again. I'm also a fan of like podcasts that are inspiring, anything that kind of like, I don't know, raises my hormones and like makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And it's so good because like, it just like makes me happy in the moment, but it also kind of, I don't know, it just like points me in the right direction. Like it almost reminds me of like what I need to do in that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just
like,
like, okay, I need to like keep up this good feeling. So I'm going to go do like X, Y, Z. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Awesome.
So yeah.
Oh, and by the way, you're Canadian, right? So I love Canadians because they say
A
A and they're like Z and like all of this stuff that we don't do in the U.S. So it just
so funny because like anytime I travel anywhere, I'm spotted instantly. People are like, "You're Canadian," and I'm like, "Oh shoot, did I say it already?" Like in the first sentence. I'm totally that person that's just like, "Hey, like how's it going? It's good, eh?"
It's good, eh? Oh my god, I love it. Okay, so here's another. Oh, I was going to ask you when you were talking about what you geek out on and all this TED Talks, personal development, podcast stuff. So what's your favorite TED Talk?
Okay, so I have a few.
Okay, pick one. You're only allowed to pick one.
Okay, so one of them that I found like the most intriguing and so interesting was the one of how schools kill creativity. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Mm-mm. Yeah, but
I feel like I should know the name of the guy. Dan something. Maybe somebody in the audience knows, so they tell us in the comments. But he basically talks about how schools, like the way schools are structured, stifle the way we think. Like we end up thinking of like one right way and everything else is wrong.
Yeah.
And so we stop thinking kind of outside of the box. We stop knowing how to create innovative solutions, if you will. And so I found that so cool, especially now as a parent. I watched it the first time before I became a parent. But like now it's so interesting to see how like our minds develop, you know, and how they're malleable like when we're really young, but they're also malleable when we're older. We just don't realize it as much, right?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I'm going through this like creative like second wind where I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. Like I'm going to start my own show. This is probably all stuff that I wanted to do when I was in 8th grade. I think I mentioned in my last episode that like when I was little, I wanted to be a model because, you know, I'm, 4'11" 3/4 or 5 feet when I round up because I want to feel like I'm cool. But like, that's like never going to happen. But it was just funny. But then the other piece of it was I wanted to be like in journalism. Like I wanted to be like a newscaster or something. So maybe this is the start of that. But maybe, it's like we should be more
on your own terms though, right? Like,
exactly. It's like I don't need to, right? I can say whatever I want here. Like I don't have to do it in front of anyone else. So that's awesome. Okay. So let's tell everybody, and I just love this because as you guys are going to see throughout this the span of the show and how it evolves, I've got a whole wide range of different people that are coming on the show. Some people who are dear friends of mine, some people who I've worked with, some of them my clients, some people who I've just connected with on Facebook and I haven't really had a real conversation with. I want to have this show be very open to anybody because I think that everybody's a celebrity in their own right, and I want to showcase, as long as you have a positive soul, I want you on my show. So when 2018 is over and I start taking more people, if you are one of those people that just like really wants to like get yourself out there and be visible and be seen, like this is probably the best show to do it in. But what's also great is I want to just have a conversation about how I've met these people, because it's really important for me to connect with people. And I've met so many people in my life with amazing stories and just amazing scenarios and where we came across each other. So, all right. So let's talk about how we met, Miriam. We started with that video challenge thing with Jan. So our friend Jan, who's a fellow Canadian, and this is all in this kind of. I met Jan through World Domination Summit, and so he and his business partner were having a video challenge. It was like 5 days, right?
Yeah.
And then, so we were all given like daily assignments and stuff like that. And so me and Miriam met through that. But I think like what really kind of, I don't know if you agree with this, but like the one thing that sticks in my mind is that one video that we did jamming out to,
the Journey song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of it? Why am I blanking on it?
Yeah, that was a blast.
I don't know why I have Bon Jovi in my mind right now, but what's the name of that freaking song?
What's the name of that song?
I have it on. Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah, Don't Stop Believing, exactly.
Yeah, so we basically got a whole bunch of people together in a Zoom room, and we all lip synced to Don't Stop Believing, and that was our video challenge for the day, was to just lip sync to something, and I was like, let's all do it together. So me and Miriam were in that little group video, and then
I actually have that. Okay. That 5-day challenge. You went outside in the middle of winter with a diaper on your head.
I think I still have it on my desk somewhere.
And right when I saw it, I was like, who is this girl?
Who is this crazy lady?
Yeah, I'm like, no, this is awesome. Because, like, you just didn't care. You're just like, whatever, I'm going to go outside. And yeah, there are people driving by, and I couldn't care less. And I love that. I was like, I got to know this girl. And look at us now.
Yeah, it was probably a year ago, right? Like, it was in January. Jan will have to watch this.
I can't remember. It does feel like a long time ago.
Yeah, but it was snowing, and I didn't have a jacket on, and I literally had the diaper on my head. I should find the image and share it. But, okay, so that was the first thing. And then we actually got to meet in person last July at World Domination Summit. Any of you who follow me, like, I just geek out on WDS. It's like the most amazing community ever in the world. And there'll be a lot of people on the show from that community because they're just so positive and so amazing. So we got to have breakfast together, or like, because we were in the same hotel, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we were in the same hotel. And we ate crepes like one of the mornings. It was amazing. Amazing. So good. And we hung out for a good amount of the week. I feel like
it was so nice. It was so nice to actually like meet somebody online first. And like we didn't have much connection, I think, in that video challenge, but afterwards we connected there, and it was great. It was almost like we knew each other forever, right? For sure. So
it's just amazing how little things that you do in your life can connect you to the most amazing people. And
totally.
And it's funny because the way that I got myself to WDS isn't necessarily the happiest story, but I feel like, I've talked about it before, but it's just like the way that I got there, I had to go through, there were some connections that I had made that were maybe not the best connections for me emotionally. But if I wouldn't have gone through all of that frustration, I wouldn't have met the hundreds of people who are, part of the World Domination Summit community now because of that. So that's so cool. Another story for another time.
That's pretty cool though, because sometimes the things that feel really bad in the moment end up leading to some of the best things that you have in life, I know.
It's so crazy how that happens. And so
I love that.
If I had to inspire anybody to, just when you're out walking and you're meeting people, just, be very aware about, who's surrounding you, because you just never know. I mean, there's been times that I've bumped into people in multiple instances, and I'm like, well, that's so crazy. There was a guy who I went to like preschool with, and then he came to school, like we didn't see each other or it was like preschool, kindergarten through second grade. I was at this Catholic school, and then I went to a public school, and I don't know what he did, but like we met up again in freshman year, and he actually was like my first high school boyfriend. So it was like crazy because we're like, oh my god, we have pictures of us like standing next to each other in kindergarten, and then we started dating. But it's just funny how people kind of come back in your life, or you just just the different connections that you make. So
totally.
All right, I have one more question.
Hey, random question, Apryl.
Yeah.
Are you hearing that beeping noise?
No.
Did you hear anything?
No.
Okay, my baby monitor is dead, and it's like, like really noisy. One sec.
Oh, okay. So she's gonna go, but I will just talk since I'm live and I have to make up some shit, right? So the next thing I'm gonna ask her is I have this really cool game that's called Vulnerability is Sexy. It's a card game from a guy that I met here who lives in Chicago, and there's a lot of really cool questions, and so that was a little plug for him. It's run by Roundtable Companies, but I wanted to pull a question to ask Miriam that is totally random, so she has no idea what I'm about to ask. But it's funny because I feel like we kind of started to talk about it a little bit, so this is kind of ironic. So when you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up, and why?
Oh, interesting. So I think when I was younger, like really young, I think I wanted to be a doctor just because I wanted to help people, which is like a very standard answer. But as I grew older, you're going to laugh at this. I wanted to be Oprah.
Oprah! Doesn't everybody want to be Oprah?
I literally wanted to be her on her show. So, which is actually very similar to kind of what you wanted to do, is kind of just be like reporting news and whatever, right? So, I don't know, something about her. She always struck me as this woman who was out to be, like, to do better for the world, you know? So, yeah, like, doctors help people, and that's awesome. I, like, respect doctors and everything. But she, again, goes back to that inspiration piece, I think. I was always inspired by her, growing up. And, you know, was it every day that she did her show before, her talk show?
Probably.
I think it was. Monday to Friday, her talk show. Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, to be Oprah.
That's awesome. Well, it's funny, too, because when I told people that I wanted to do this show, they're like, oh, so you want to be like Oprah? And I was like, well, the April version of Oprah, but sure, okay. And I just saw a comment from Gary. Gary is leaving comments, and he says, hey, are you being Oprah now? Yes, we're being Oprah. So, I love it. So I didn't even really watch the show much, but it was just like, here's your present. Like, there's a present under your seat. That's all I would remember.
I love that. I just loved it. I love that she would, like, give away stuff, and she would have, like, the craziest stories on her show.
Yeah. By the way, really, Miriam, you've got a gift under your chair.
A what?
A gift under your chair.
I'm like, where were you in my house?
I teleported to Canada, and I put a cap under your chair.
Wait, we didn't plan this, April. What are you talking about?
Oprah, where's my underwear prize? Steve, hey, Steve! Oh my God. Your underwear prize. It's nice and black and lacy. Oh my God. Oh, seat. Under seat. Oh my God, sorry, I had to laugh for a second. We should have an underwear prize. Oh my God, I'm going to do that. I'm going to write that down for our next show. Underwear prize. Oh my God, that was hilarious. Okay. Okay, so your under seat prize. Yeah, it was a nice little cap. But I'm just kidding. Okay. Okay, so awesome. So Oprah, amazing. Prizes under seats. That's all that's going to happen in future shows. Okay. All right. So I want to talk. This is a segment that I literally just made up today that I told Miriam about, but we're just gonna go with it. I wanted to just randomly rant about a random thing. I don't want to swear right now, even though I already have sworn once on the video while you were gone. But it's like random as F commentary is this new fun segment. And then there is basically it's just like what's on your mind like right now. And so we were talking a little bit earlier in the show about how I got a massage. I have the most amazing massage therapist, and I actually told her, I'm like, I'm going to talk about you. Her name is Olga. She is the strongest woman I know, and I'm the type of person that doesn't like the relaxing massages, like the ones that are like, dig your elbow into your back type of massages. So do you get massages?
That's like me too. I love those. I'm like, if you're not digging deep, then it's like, why am I even here in the first place?
Yeah, it's like, but what's crazy about this girl is that she knows the muscles like crazy. So she, you know, I think most massage therapists won't necessarily like massage you in the places that are like, instead of Oprah, call it opera. Ooh, Apryl. Apryl? I'm Apryl. So anyways, that's like, I always get distracted. There's like the squirrel comment.
Yeah.
And I get a little like, beep every time somebody leaves
That's
a message. So she just knows like all of these different muscles, and she like basically is giving me education about my muscles every time. So every time I try something new, she's like, "Oh, this is what's bothering you now," and blah blah blah. Oh, look at your IT pan. But she also massages the places that, like, I think most massage places that are doing more relaxing massages don't go, like your glutes, like your pecs. All of these, like, random things. Like, she started, like, massaging, like, my neck, which is so painful.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
Have you done that? They're like, nobody does this. It's like, what is this? Like,
oh, it hurts so bad.
It's kind of crazy.
It's like, it's funny because the first time I was like, wait, what are you massaging? Like, I don't think I have muscles there.
Yeah, but we totally
she's
do.
Like, you do.
But it's so painful. But, like, I don't know about you, but, like, when I'm getting a massage and it's, like, so painful, it gets to the point where, like, I can't even talk anymore, and then I just start laughing. So, like, I'll just be, at first I'll be like, and then I'll just start be like, hee, or it doesn't sound like that, but it's just like, I'm just sitting there, like, laughing because it hurts so bad. And so, she was telling me today, because I started kickboxing, this muscle, I don't even know what it's called anymore, but it's, like, in my shoulder that, like, I've maybe never used before, or I don't know, but it's because I have to keep my hands up. And she was like, yeah, this is gonna hurt. I was like, stop it. And we were having conversation the entire time. Yeah. And we were like serious conversation, and all of a sudden I would just like get quiet, and then I'd stop breathing, and then I'd just start laughing because that's the only way that I could breathe. So that was just what was on my mind, and I wanted to share it. But I don't know.
So funny. No, related to massage therapists, I'm kind of the same way that I like to talk to people a lot, right? Mm-hmm. But what happened with me with my last massage therapist, I loved her. She was amazing. We related to each other on every level, so we ended up talking the whole entire time. Yeah. But as time went on, I started craving like a quieter experience, and I had no idea how to tell her that, like, can we just stop talking? Yeah. And she's really chatty too. She's just like me, right? Yeah. And so I stopped going.
What? Just because of that? Oh my god, that's so hilarious.
I just don't feel relaxed anymore. Like, I need to hear, like, I don't want to hear anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just want peace and quiet. Yeah. But I'm working on that whole, like, telling people what you want clearly without being offensive. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And so sometimes hard. It's just easier for me to just, like, run away.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god, I don't want to sit in silence with you, so let me run away.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna, like, start tearing up because I'm laughing.
Like, as a person, I just, like, I stopped liking the massage experience, you know?
Yeah, no, and I totally get that. And there's sometimes where, like, I feel like I'm talking, and as soon as it gets quiet, I think just in conversation even, to just sit in silence, it's like, I need to think of something to say. Like, if I sat here and just, like, stopped talking for a little bit.
Totally. It's funny.
Like, I don't know how long I could hold myself from it. It's like, oh my god, it's awkward.
I think we could hold it long enough, as long as we are allowed to laugh. Like, you and I, we could laugh and just not talk.
I know. Well, there was an improv class that I had. This guy in my class, Jason, I was brand new in the class, and I think everybody had known each other, and we had to stare into each other's eyes for, like, what felt like 5 or 6 minutes, or maybe even longer, and do all this other stuff. But I was like, I've never sat in silence, and I don't know this guy, and I'm, like, staring into his eyes. I wanted to die. But yeah, so it's like getting comfortable with silence, getting comfortable. That's all stuff that, like, I totally struggle with too. Totally get it.
Yeah, totally.
So
interesting.
So that's my random as F commentary for the day. Do you have any random things that are on your mind?
No. I think that was pretty random too, to top onto your massage story.
I will say one more massage story. There was this guy who I saw for a while, because he gave really good massages, but there was one time where, like, and he was similar to my current massage therapist, like, kind of, like, went through the boundaries. And I guess it's, like, weird when it's, like, a guy and a girl, like, people of the opposite sex, or maybe it's not so bad for guys, because I think a lot of massage therapists are girls. And I could be making totally wrong claims here, but that's just my world of what I see. But it's not as comfortable when you're a girl and a guy is massaging you, right? Yeah. In my opinion. And so there's this guy, he was, like, massaging, and at the time I was doing trapeze, so I needed, like a lot of work like on my pecs and stuff, and so it was just random, but he was like massaging, and then he just stopped moving for a little bit, and this was like not a chatty type of massage, it was just like quiet, but he stopped moving, and I think I was sick at the time.
Oh gosh.
And I sneezed, and he like jumped, and so like I think he fell asleep while he was massaging or something. No. And it was like the most awkward thing, and I was laughing because he was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." Like,
oh my god.
I didn't want to say it out loud, like, did you fall asleep? But needless to say, that was the last time I went to see him. So
that's crazy. I've never heard of anybody falling asleep.
And it was like only an hour
massaging someone.
Yeah, but I don't know. But I don't know, unless he was like, and I had my eyes closed or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. We could have been like doing something, but I don't know.
That is something
Hopefully
else.
He doesn't watch this and is still like creeping, following me or whatever.
He's probably like, "Oh shoot, she actually figured out that I was asleep."
Yeah, or if he wasn't sleeping, then like, I have like a ton of embarrassing stories that are probably going to come out on this show that are going to embarrass people. Sorry, I'm going to apologize in the meantime, but save them for the next 22 shows. Okay. All right, so one of the things that I talked about in my first episode, and is going to just be a recurring thing that I have with all of my guests since we are having a cheerful conversation, is to share cheerful news. Mm-hmm. So I asked Miriam, and I will ask all of my guest hosts to come with a really cheerful story. It could be news, it could be just an article that they read or story that they know that happened in their town, whatever. I'm just going to be open, but something cheerful and inspiring to share. So I'll have her share her story first. I have one too, just in case, but let's hear what cheerful story you have to share with everyone today.
Okay, cool. So mine is really, really local, like literally at the local. I live in Durham region, just outside of Toronto. It's like a really small area. But anyways, there's a Facebook group for all moms in the area.
Okay.
And so people often come in and like ask random questions or whatever. So this one lady came in and shared her story about being in this grocery store. And she said she had 3 kids. And they were all like, I don't know, anybody here who has kids knows going to the grocery store can be like a serious mission and a half with your kids. And so apparently she didn't have them in the cart. And so they were all running all over the place. And finally she got fed up and she's like, whatever, that's it. Like, you're all going into the cart. So she put 2 in the front and then 1 kind of in the back part of the cart. But she said they totally lost it. And they were all like screaming and crying. And she's like, everyone was walking by me giving me this glare, like, what the hell, woman, like, deal with your kids, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and like, I know that feeling too, you know what I mean? When you have a kid who's like having a tantrum or whatever, they're just not happy about anything, people automatically, I think, could assume that you're not doing your job or whatever, whatever it is. So anyways, she was saying how she felt so horrible, just like being in front of everyone, having to deal with her kids like this. And then she said this gentleman came by who was much older, so probably close to retired age, and he said to her, very calmly and very compassionately, he was just like, you know what can help? In the bakery, you can get free cookies. And she was just like, thank you. And I don't think she was like happy about the cookies. I think she was happy about the fact that someone took the time to be like, don't worry, like, don't feel so embarrassed, you're good. Like, maybe this one thing can help, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
For sure. So, I mean, it's like that, just that compassion instead of all of the judgment and being like, oh my gosh. Because, I mean, it's a nightmare of being a parent and like bringing your kid on a plane and like, that was always like, because, I mean, and being on the opposite end, I get it. Like, when you're trying to like sleep on a plane or something like that, or you're trying to do work and you have this like kid screaming, you're like,
it's frustrating. Yeah, for sure.
But it is so hard to be a parent and like quiet your kids. Like, they're just crazy and wild and they don't know how to control themselves. And
that's it. And they're children. You know what I mean? Like, what can you possibly expect, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is just like, if only we could just see each other as human to human and stop with the judgment, you know what I mean? And stop with the criticism, like, everybody would just be so much happier, you know what I mean? There's a huge fear of criticism out there. Like, we always worry about what everyone else thinks, right?
For sure.
And it's reinforced by situations like that. So it's nice to see someone who's, like, willing to be brave almost to just come up to her and say, listen, like, you're good, don't worry.
Yeah.
Get the sugar. Sugar always helps.
Get some cookies. Yeah, make them worse as you're walking out of the store.
Yeah,
Oh
temporary. Just like give me the temporary sugar.
Well, I hope. So this is a woman in a Facebook group that you are connected in.
And she just like, and everyone was like, oh, like what an amazing man, and everyone just kind of like sort of posted experience, which was like really nice. So
that's awesome.
So it's not like something you see on the news, but it's definitely cheerful.
For sure. I mean, and why wouldn't you on the news? Because everything is about like fires and murders and people dying.
Exactly.
And the government. Well, I don't know. How's the government like? How do you guys in Canada see like what's going on in our world? And you might have a skewed vision depending on like which way you are politically, but like. Yeah.
I mean, I think for the most part, at least around the people that I associate with, like. Everyone thinks it's pretty crazy. To be honest, I can't even believe that Trump actually won the election. So I'm still just like, what? Is this real? But we also feel the impact with like a lot of the things that he does, right? So they're universal issues, right?
Yeah.
About immigration and all kinds of stuff. So I'm sure you don't want to get into politics, and it's not exactly cheerful.
No, I mean, and this is the thing. Like, I think I said in my last episode that there's something that's gonna come from this. Like, life is not always like candy and rainbows, and maybe we needed like a gut check reality. Because I mean, nobody knew that this was gonna happen, or some people did know that it was gonna happen.
Yeah,
but it was just kind of a there are a lot of quiet voices in the U.S. that are not being heard, and maybe they're just not as vocal as people who are more liberal, and so this. This was a way to quietly like share, that there is a lot of like divide in the country. And, I wish that we could kind of just do away with like Democrat, Republican, whatever. Cause I feel like it's always going to be this like bounce of, like everybody, all the Democrats who are angry about what happened, last year are going to like really fight hard,
right?
Next time. And, we'll see how the Trump supporters are when they come back.
Right.
But, we had 8 years with Obama, and that was, the Democrat world. So of course, like everybody who is Republican is going to be like, oh my God, like we need some sort of change. Like we need to claim ours back. And so there's I think it's always going to just be this pendulum swing as long as we have this kind of government. So,
and something for me that really came up was I started realizing how quiet I am about certain issues, like having a platform and having an email list and having people that, read what I write and things like that. It's like you have a voice, you can share things, right? And I noticed that I was pulling back a lot of the time with things that I believed in, only because I'm like, well, like I don't want to deter anyone or whatever. But over time, I've realized that it's not about that. Like the key is to just be yourself in every way, shape, and form that you possibly can. And then you'll attract what's good for you and you'll deter what's not good for you. And that's fine. That's perfect. That's how it should be, right?
Totally.
So for me, that's kind of like the big lesson learned is like, wow, so much is going on. And like looking back over, the last year or two, like you won't see much out there from me. So I'm just kind of working on that now is like, how do I voice my opinion kind of confidently and
100%. That's like my mission for this year is to just be completely honest. And I mean, I feel like I've always shied away from politics because I don't feel like I'm educated enough.
Right.
I don't know what's going on at that level, but how can you know about all of these things? Like you're going to always hear one side of the story and latch onto it if it resonates with you. So I could be sharing a story that I'm super passionate about and there might be somebody in the background that's like, do you not even know that this injustice is happening? And I'm like, I don't know, but you don't know what you don't know. And so you're only going to voice your opinion based on, I mean, I even said this in my book when I was trying to think about like, what is it that I believe? Because I think a lot of my lack of confidence is connected to the fact that I don't know what I believe. And I have this bad tendency of like wanting to know the entire picture before I make a decision. So I never make a decision, but being able to say like, I know, like I'm making this stance or I'm choosing to act this way because this is what I know is the best that you can do. And
exactly.
If somebody wants to come up to me and like kind of butt heads with me about it and have a serious conversation that with things that I'm not really like educated about, then let's bring it, because if it's enough, if it's intriguing enough for me to look into it, then I will, and then I'm more than happy to change my stance.
Exactly.
So, you know, like my parents and my in-laws and, you know, a lot of my family is very conservative. So, and I just normally clam up when it comes to political conversations, just because it makes me uncomfortable, because I don't know if I really know how to, like, and maybe I'm too compassionate, because it's like, I get your side, but like, I also get everybody else's side. Like,
totally.
Let's just all get along. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. So maybe that's my platform. It's like, I don't know all the answers, but let's just frickin' get along, right?
Well, that's it, you know, and I feel like with a lot of the political issues or the religious issues or any issue that divides people, to me, it's an inability to see the other person as human. Like, just human, that's all. There's nothing else to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's very idealistic, but if we could simplify it to just that, then, like, you'd be able to solve problems so much easier, you know?
If we could just brainwash everyone to just like clear all the anger filters. Oh, if I could create something like that would be amazing. Or
unbrainwash them.
Unbrainwash them, yeah, that's true. So we just got serious on this Cheerful Conversation show for just a hot minute. But should we? Okay, so let me share my cheerful news story, because how did we get from women and children in store to political stuff? I don't know. Okay, so my story, I subscribe to, I don't know if you've heard of this website, but it's called Flipboard, and it's just like all news stories, and so I downloaded categories like happiness, productivity, you know, all the stuff I geek out on. And then they send me like 10 articles a day, and so like I look through some of those, and some of them are political, some of the, you know, it's like world news or whatever. But one of the articles, and I won't pull it up, but I'll just kind of like glance over it. The title of the article was "Board Game Nights Are Having a Moment. Here's How to Join In," and they were talking about how like this whole wave of new just like reigniting board games, and board games are such a joy in my family, and more so like my husband's family. Like before we had kids and didn't have to micromanage like screaming children, right? We would play board games all the time, and my husband Tim, his mom, like just had all of these board games that I've never heard of before, and some of the most amazing board games. But they were talking about in this article about how, and I'm just looking at my screen, at how this is bringing like connection back, and, you know, in a world where we're all digital and like not really interacting with each other, like having board game nights is such a great way to, you know, foster connection and interaction, and then strategy and like critical thinking.
It's true.
I just love that. And I've been thinking about wanting to do like a monthly game night with friends at our house, but it's just hard in Chicago because everybody's so spread out.
Right.
So like maybe it becomes a family thing, or I don't really know, but you know, really instilling that as an option instead of like going out drinking or going, you know, not that drinking is bad or whatever, but like having these alternative ways to connect to people, because we're starting to lose that more and more as technology becomes more and more advanced. And so that was my cheerful story. I was like, yay, bring back the board games.
Do you guys have board game cafes down there?
I've been to some like across the country where there's like bars and then they have board games. I remember I was in Florida with some friends and they had like Connect Four and like different card games. I was like, this is awesome while you're drinking beers. So like I love that, because it's just, some of them are like staples. Like I think I love the game Sorry. Do you know that game?
Yes.
It's just like a really stupid game, but it's like so fun to just be like, you know, roll the dice and then like 1, 2, 3, slide. But some of the other games that I really have really come to really like, that are just, I don't think that they're well known, or they're growing, there's this one called Spy Alley. That's amazing.
Never heard of that.
So just check it out. It's like it's a 6-player game, and like you are a spy, and you have to collect all these like items to claim your, you know, stuff, and like go to this embassy and like free yourself before somebody figures out who you are. There's another one called Scotland Yard, where there's like, it's almost like 5 against 1, or, you know, a bunch of players against one, and they're trying to figure out where the thief is, and you're the thief and you're trying to like run away, and they're trying to guess you, and, you know, trying to pinpoint your location. So that's crazy. Awesome. And then my other one, which now my son can play, is like Ticket Ride, where you're trying to strategize like how to, connect yourself to certain cities, but people don't know what you're trying to do, and so you're trying to steal track and steal pathways before other people. So I like the strategy games.
That's fun.
How about you? What's your favorite?
I don't play video games, board games that often, but the one I always turn to is Taboo.
Taboo, yes. Then those games too that
so
are like funny, like Apples to Apples and Cards Against Humanity, which I don't think I've ever really played, but like just those games where you're interacting with people and just like being really silly. Those are the best too.
Yeah, exactly. I remember when I was much younger. It was the first time I ever played Taboo. Mm-hmm. And I was with my sister, who's 5 years older than I am, with all her friends. So clearly on a very different kind of level.
For sure.
And so anyways, the word that I was guessing, I think I was guessing. Oh no, yeah, I was guessing. So somebody was trying to get me to say fear of spiders, I think.
Like arachnophobia?
Arachnophobia. Yeah. And so, oh my god, now I've totally drawn a blank of like what it was. I don't even remember. Anyway, okay, wow. Blank moment. I totally forgot my story. It's crazy, but anyways, it was hilarious. So when I remember, I'll share it.
I don't know the story, but it was funny. Just trust me.
It was funny. I'm glad you found it funny then.
Yes, I will find funny in everything. I can't remember my funny
story.
I will find funny in everything. And if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay on this or you're on YouTube, I'd love to hear like what your favorite board games are. I'm always looking for new board games. I haven't been, talking to the audience enough on this, but like I think board games are awesome. Any stories that you have to share, leave them in the comments. Definitely engage with both me and Miriam. We'll talk more about that. And we have one more segment that we want to do before we start to end the show, which has been a segment that I've been like so excited about to do, and I'm so glad that Miriam wants to do it. And so I'm going to explain this concept really quick. So in my last show, I was talking about how I wanted to do like fun, silly things and make people laugh. And this is probably like the highlight. I'm like most looking forward to doing this right now because I have not really a clue if this is going to work out really well. But here's the concept. So a lot of late night talk show hosts, they'll do like little fun music things and just really funny, like changing lyrics and, singing stuff in different, I don't know. But there's always different kinds of musical comedic little bits that they do. Jimmy Fallon will do with his celebrity guests, like they have to sing a certain song in like a different style or whatever. I don't remember what it's called. It's like Wheel of Fortune or like musical something. I don't know. But we all know that on Facebook you can't necessarily post like music tracks. So I was trying to figure out, since I love music, and if you are following me on Facebook or Instagram, I posted a video of me singing, but I had to do it a cappella because I didn't want them to like block me and then not do a live show again. But I've been trying to figure out how do I instill musical aspects into this show. So I created this segment, or it's probably like an adjustment of a segment that already exists that's called Read My Lips. And so the premise is that me and my guest co-host are going to sing a song, but totally muted, and we're going to try to guess the other person, like what the other person is singing. So I was telling Miriam about this. She's like, let's totally do it. And so she picked two artists who I think are friends, Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran, right? I mean, they partnered on a song, right?
And they did, yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but whatever.
Yeah.
So we are going to attempt for the first ever time to do, I'm gonna guess 2 songs from her and she's gonna guess 2 songs from me. And I'm gonna be Ed Sheeran and she's gonna be Taylor Swift and she's gonna try to, guess, and if we do, then you'll have a prize in your underwear. I mean, under your seat.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm kidding. I had to call that back from earlier in the show. But so Miriam's going to guess. Is it okay if I go first to just...
Yeah, of course. Okay.
So I'm going to mute myself in a second, and then I'm just going to go for a little bit. I'm going to try to sing the chorus and see if she can guess this Ed Sheeran song. We'll do 2 just to make it fun, and then we'll switch it up. So let me mute myself really quick.
I can't hear you. You're good. Okay, I'm a little nervous. Let's do it. And the thing is, I can't cheat from the audience. If they tell me anything, they want to help me, I can't see anything because I can't see the comments. Baby, it's all part of the plan. The title.
Did you get it?
I sung with you, but I can't remember the name of the song.
Oh, well, that's not fun. Should I play? I accidentally closed out. What do you, like, sing it a little bit. What do you think it was?
All I got is that song. Baby, it's all part of the plan.
Yeah, it is that song.
Yeah.
So it's Singing Out Loud by Ed Sheeran.
Singing Out Loud, yeah.
Oh my god. You got it! That's amazing!
Okay. Let's see. Now I'm even more nervous about singing mine, so here we go.
You want to do, so you do yours next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we do it like that, one by one?
Yeah, no, that works.
Okay, I'm muting it. Ready?
Took a while. Like, I felt like I was trying to shift it over to the camera because I had it on my other screen, and then the other thing was coming up, and I was like, I can't. Okay, so Taylor Swift. Okay.
Taylor Swift. Ready?
Okay.
Here's number one.
Oh, wait,
I'm gonna mute
yourself.
Okay.
Let me make sure that I can't hear you. Okay, I can't hear you. Perfect. Oh my god, I have no idea. Oh, now we got bad blood. That one? And you used to be mad love. So take a look what you've done.
You got it.
Yay! I was like, what is that? Oh my god. Yay! Okay. I was like, oh god, I don't even know. Okay. Song number 2. And this sucks because, like, I would love to play it and, like, jam to it, but then I don't want Facebook to be like,
yeah, exactly.
So here's the next one. Let's
But
see
it's probably hilarious for people to see you just like...
I know, but I'm, like, making weird faces. Okay, so here's the next one. Let me move my screen again before I mute so that, okay.
Can you still hear me when you're muted?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
So, okay. Okay, take 2. Here we go. I'm gonna mute myself. Just double check.
You're good. Is it perfect? god. I have zero clue. Okay. Is that the name of the song? Photograph? Funny. You totally gave that away. Maybe you did that on purpose because I was so clueless.
No, it was fine. Yeah, no, I was like, how do I? But you got
I
it.
was like, I don't
when
know.
You said, so we were talking earlier to just make sure that we were picking songs that we knew, and so we threw each other some song ideas, and I was like, I don't even know this song, but I'm gonna do that one because that's gonna be better. Yeah, it was that was hard because it's like slow.
Yeah.
But super fun.
I caught like one word. I think you said roses or something.
Inside.
So, okay, I didn't catch not even a word.
Yeah, I don't even know what the words are now that I was looking at the lyrics on a YouTube video when I was doing it, but yay, we did it!
Yay! Okay, I'm gonna do you. I need to just get my second song ready. Give me 1 sec.
Okay. Alright, let's see if I can do this. If you are watching this and you want to try to guess along and put it in the comments, just because that would make it more fun, and I can see the comments, but she can't. So that I cheat. Taylor Swift, let's do this. I can't hear you go. Yeah, I can't hear you. Do 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 do. The suspense is killing me. Does she have a song with those words? Suspense is killing me. Okay, ready? Okay. Shake it up! Shake it up! Yeah, you gave that one away too! Yeah, I was like, wait, I think I know what this song is. Oh my god, that was so much fun!
Oh, that's funny. I'm sweating from the nerves. Can you see? I'm like,
yeah,
ooh.
we're gonna watch back and be like, oh my god, my armpits are, my deodorant's kicking in. Oh, this is awesome! Thank you so much for doing that. I hope you guys enjoyed that ridiculous rendition.
That was awesome.
So maybe I'll do it again. So we were tied 2-2, I guess. So we'll see.
I can't believe we actually got that.
Yeah, well, I think we gave ourselves.
We helped each other.
Yeah, we helped each other just a little bit. So we can up the ante a little bit, but it'll probably I'll have to see how I do it in future shows. But all right, so we are in the last couple minutes of the show because I don't want it to go over an hour. And first of all, I just wanted to share, and Miriam, thank you so much for being my guinea pig guest co-host.
Anytime.
The first one, the inaugural, I definitely feel like this show, I didn't even know how it was going to turn out, but I knew it was going to be fun because I was bursting with energy today, and
my face hurts from how much we laughed.
I know,
so if that's any indication. I think this is a thumbs up.
So yeah, and before I kind of close, if you've made it this far, I mean the end was the best, just watching us act like fools. If you're watching this, obviously this is going to be posted on YouTube. This will be posted on my website. If you want to just have easy access to being notified when new shows pop up, I do a newsletter twice a month, so you'll at least get a link to your email so that you don't have to go fishing through it. You can subscribe on my YouTube channel, all this blah, 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 whatever way you want. Follow me on Facebook. And all that. And Miriam, I will put in the show notes, how people can contact you, but what would be the best way for people if they want to kind of know more about you or connect? Do you have a website or?
Yeah. So to know more, you can go to www.miriambuttu.com, and to find me and chat with me and, that basically talk to me. Find me on social media. I'm everywhere. So first name, last name.
She's everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you just got to. It's like,
Yeah.
we would do that. So yes, like, if you liked this episode, I would love to hear in the comments what you do like, what you don't like, what I need to fix, what I need to improve, because this is a work in progress, obviously. And I really want to make you guys laugh, bring some cheer, bring some energy. And so if you have any suggestions or anything, just email me at apryl@thecheerfulmind.com, and I will definitely take your feedback into consideration or put it in the comments or whatever. So just like I ended in my last show, I'm going to end this one with another quote, and I have no idea who this is, but this one says, "Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy." That is a perfect quote for our show.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So thank you guys all so much for being here for Cheerful Conversations. I'm Apryl Schluter of The Cheerful Mind. Thank you so much, Miriam, too, for being my amazing guest co-host today. And we will see you guys in February. February 14th is the next show. All right. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Apryl. Bye.